So, as Dan was mentioning, this is going to be kind of a fairly short talk, because I'm actually going to call on Dan and get him to come up and answer questions with me at the end. Because hopefully you're going to have lots and lots of questions about WP Build, about how you get involved. And what I'm really going to focus on is the design process that we're going to do, and a big open call for anyone to get involved in the design side. We've got people who are interested in development, and we could have more, but we really, really want to see this as an opportunity for not just developers to be involved in this as well. So what is it? So the idea is really, really simple. It's about creating something for the entire community to use, quite simply. But it kind of goes beyond that. It's a redevelopment of the WP London site by community members, and that's pretty cool as something. And it's going to be released on the .org repo, so as Dan was saying, it can be something that other people can use as well, which is a really great thing. We get to make something that other communities are going to benefit from. And a second but really powerful idea that Dan has mentioned when he's kind of been encouraging us all to get involved has been it could be fodder for talks. So it's going to be something we can share in meetups, it's going to be something we can use for word counts as well. And it's going to hopefully give some new speakers an opportunity to have subjects to talk about, which I think is pretty cool. So, let's look at the design journey. So far we've had one hangout. That's the grand total of what we've had so far. And lots of calls out to try and get people involved in design. And one of the ideas is that we probably were going to divide and conquer and split into subgroups to kind of get more focus. So there'd be a group focusing on theme, there'd be a group focusing on design side, who would be working with a lot of other groups, and then maybe a group who's doing plugins. So kind of dividing people up like that to really have that focus in the development and creation. And I'm here today to encourage you to get involved in the design side, because there's so much that we could do that you might not think that could be done. And I'm super excited to give an opportunity for people to do that. I'm actually going to be helping and supporting and doing a little bit of mentoring in the design side. I don't want to be the person that creates the design. That's super important for me. I want one of you out there to create the design, and I want to help you do that. So, we spoke a little bit about the process when we had our hangout. The idea is that we're going to be led by design in the process we do, so it's kind of important that we get people involved in the design process so we can lead that process as well. And it simply means that design is going to be at the heart of a lot of the decisions that we do. So we're really going to have this process. And this is going to allow a fast process. So the first of these is going to be research. And I hope what I'm going to do today is show that it's not just one area of design that we want people involved. This is kind of a data-driven approach to creating something, and we need to do that because we need to know what the community wants from the site, because otherwise we're going to be building something that Dan thinks the community wants, that I maybe think the community wants, and that's potentially not what the community actually wants. So it's things like surveys, it's gathering information, there's some benchmarking, maybe it's looking at what the .org communities already through WordCamp and whoever plugins do. Potentially it's maybe looking at what Meetup do, the good and the bad, because we can learn and make a better thing as well from that. And then the idea is that we get to know both what people want and what they really don't want, and what are the limitations, what can we solve with this site. And I think that's super, super important. What problems can we solve? Because we might all have an idea, but do we actually know that those are real problems? And then we can get on to prototyping. This is where we kind of do mock-up and sketching. So this doesn't require you to be a pixel-perfect designer. This is something that you can kind of get involved in, creating mock-ups and prototypes, and then building these prototypes. So then we can actually use and test the prototypes before we actually go through the lengthy process of building something and discover actually that wasn't going to be useful for users. And then we're going to move on to create a style guide. And this is about what we're going to use to base or work on, because there's going to be separated teams. If we have a style guide that we can call back on, then maybe the plugin development team, they're going to know what colours to use, what buttons and icons, and maybe we will graduate that into a pattern library. It's going to be up to the people who do that. So it's an opportunity. If you've never worked with style guides and pattern libraries, it's an opportunity for you to do that as well. And then we get onto the creating bit, so we're actually building stuff. So maybe you're a designer that kind of lives in CSS and wants to kind of bring that back to the table. You can do that. It's potentially the theme, but it's also the UI for plugins as well. And we'll be using the style guide and then prototypes as our cornerstones when we do this. So maybe you are someone that comes up with all these creative ideas, or maybe you're someone that needs that kind of creative input towards your design. Whatever you are, there's a place for you to be involved in this as well. And then testing, which I'm super passionate about, and super passionate that we have at the core of what we're doing, because there's no point spending all this time on something and then finding it either doesn't work for the community or it just doesn't work. So if we have testing at the heart of everything that we do, we can then, maybe I have this kind of idea, and it's a slightly crazy idea. I would love there to be maybe a London and South user testing pool that we could call on. Maybe we create a pool that we can call on for our other projects. We've got meetups here. Maybe we know a portion of people that you could ping and say, I need this user tested. It's a great way of learning about that and using ourselves to user test as well. And from testing, we really shouldn't be afraid to go around the cycle again. And we should see this as an iterative process. This is something that we maybe don't cast in stone. We can see it, and we can iterate on this, really shape this into something really, really powerful for the community. And just to emphasize, everything goes back to research. We shouldn't be afraid to do research at any point in the process. You know, if maybe we're doing something and we feel like we're guessing, we should find out whether we've got some facts for that. So that's all great. It's lovely to have a design process, but what's in it for you? Why would you want to get involved, apart from us saying, please get involved, and we need designers? Well, the first is portfolio. We hope this is going to be a great project that people are going to be proud of. And it gives you a chance to work on things that maybe you haven't worked on before. Maybe you're new, maybe you're just qualified, maybe you're dipping one toe into the world of design when you've been in development before. Maybe, it's a way that you can have something. Sometimes when we work on freelance projects, we don't get to work on projects that are maybe something we can channel our creativity into. And this is a chance for you to explore areas in design that you probably wouldn't be able to do before. And it's also an opportunity to improve your skills. People involved in this project are going to gain a lot from each other. I know I'm going to learn from being involved in this project. And it's a great chance to really level up and learn from other people. There's something about working with people in your community to really give you extra skills, and really you get to know the people in your community as well, because we have such a variety of people. And you get to learn new skills. It's a great opportunity to learn something new, to level up. Maybe you've no experience in user testing, and you really want to find out, because you do really want to find out about it. It's something you can do, and it's an opportunity for you to do that maybe you don't get in your regular client work. And going back to that, making connections. You might come here regularly, month by month, you might eat the lovely pizza, have a drink, and chat to maybe one or two people. But by being involved in the project, you can get in the heart of this community. And that's super important. I wouldn't do what I do without the WordPress community and without being involved in it. So it's a chance for you to start doing that. And at the heart of it is helping the community. You're enabling everyone else, not just this community in this room. The whole of the London community, Brighton community, all the communities can benefit from this. Who's to say that this isn't something that the whole of the UK, the whole of Europe start using at the core of their project? Because good things tend to snowball really fast in this WordPress community. So if we create something really awesome, it's just going to explode and become this amazing thing that everyone's going to adopt and want to use, which I think is pretty good. So who do we need? I said that design is a really big subject, and there's lots of different areas. Well, we need people who can do research. Maybe you wouldn't initially think of that when you're thinking of design. We need people who can help us with the surveys, who can help us with finding out, benchmarking, who can use these products, give us reviews and find out where the holes are in these things. And as mentioned by Dan, branding. We need that. We need people. Maybe you are a logo genius, like you're obsessed with doing logos, and maybe in your work you don't actually get a chance to do logos, and you're just itching to go to do some logo design. This is a chance to do that. And theme design is going to be central to it. As mentioned, it's going to be running a theme. Maybe a theme in it is theme design and development, or maybe you've just done an awful lot of development and you do have design skills but you just don't get to use them. It's a chance for you to do that. Maybe you're also interested in learning how to design a theme, how to do that. We have some incredibly experienced people on our team that you can work with and start kind of exploring that. Maybe a designer that's never made a theme. It's a great opportunity for you to take that leap, and it's actually something, if you're freelance, you could then do as a career path and offer as a skill. The skills here that you then could market as well, which is pretty awesome. And interface through the UI plugin design. There's going to be a need for that. We need to interact somehow with this awesome code, and we're going to need to have it as well designed as a theme. There's no point having like an amazingly designed theme and not a great design user interface, because not kind of going to be great as soon as you try and interact with it. And user testing. Maybe you aren't into your design or logos, and that's absolutely fine. We're looking for people to also help run user testing and help with everything that entails. We want this to be the most robust solution, and we want it to be a way that we can all learn some good design practices and all get to explore things that maybe you come at different parts of that process in your work. Maybe you don't get a chance to do a big full design process in your work. Maybe you're just eager to learn about the design process, and you can do that. So, hopefully, you're really interested. And I've shown you all the different ways you can be involved. So, Dan, you can come up. Maybe anyone's got any questions.
Okay, great.
Any questions?
Yeah, sounds great, and
Okay.
I'd like to be involved myself. I'm guessing the bit that you mentioned earlier was that you're looking for this to be something that could be used by other WordPress groups and whatever and everything.
Well, I'm saying that could be.
It could
I'm not
be,
looking at it being like that solution. If it grows to that,
Okay.
amazing.
All right, okay,
If
well
it's an amazing thing for just this local community,
Okay,
even better.
okay, well that's fine. I mean, because that's kind of, I wanted that clarification, because that intrigues me. Having been involved in a white label project myself that's coming to a conclusion now, it's it's something that creates extra challenges. And
I have, but personally, I don't think you do either. We have no intentions, I don't think, speaking for you, of this is going to be like this will replace the proper. It's not that. It's exactly what I said. If a good thing happens in the WordPress community, it catches on. So if this is a good thing and it works for us, then potentially it works for other communities. It may not work for other communities. It may just be like London is this rare unicorn and it just works amazingly for London community. But if it did, that's pretty cool. That's not the way we're necessarily designing it originally. Our focus is purely on the needs of London, because we can't focus on the needs of every single community in the world, because our heads would explode. Like, good luck doing the user research on that, because that's a really wide berth.
Thank you.
And our community needs are very similar to a vast majority of other meetups.
But it's those subtle differences that will be whether the community takes it on.
Absolutely, yeah. So there's obviously lots of integration. You may have one meetup using Eventbrite, another meetup using meetup.com. Absolutely, yeah. We use meetup.com to manage our events. It's whether or not that works for us. And there's decisions that need to be made around this project, and those decisions need to be made by you, not by us.
Is there a time scale? Is there a
We're flexible. No, I mean, obviously, part of the issue we have is what I would like with this project is for it to be as open as possible, for as many people to be involved as possible and go through the journey that the people actually doing the work are going on. So, for example, we could use the server setup. Now, we've been donated a server. That server could have been set up a couple of weeks ago, but actually, should the setup of the server be done in front of you guys? Should it be done with you? Now, the problem we have there is obviously then that stops us from actually doing anything for a couple of weeks in relation to using the server. So we've got to balance the openness with actually bringing those along that maybe aren't involved on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, we want to design inclusively, but not by committee.
Absolutely.
And it's from a design point of view, because design comes by committee, that's not where. So if you want your design voice to be heard, get involved in design in that sense. It will come out to the community, we're going to be doing everything transparently, just like the WordPress core community is done transparently through the make blogs. But you may be finding after some design decisions have been made to keep that process going a little bit. I can only speak from the design angle, but I think the same would have to happen from plugin and theme. Like, movement is going to happen. But I'm not aware of any like calendar, unless I misremember, which is entirely possible. It's, you know, I think life happens and we're all super busy, but there's a need for this in the community. The more people that get involved, the quicker it gets built.
So, does this sound like a positive thing to you? A general nodding or shaking of heads?
Can I have hands up who would want to maybe be involved in the design side? Yay! That's awesome. So is there any way that we can get these names?
Well, this is the thing. I think probably the easiest way to do it for now is if you guys, if you're on Twitter, just tweet us using the hashtag.
Was there not
hashtag? Yeah, well we can. We've got hashtag WPLDN build. That's a good way to get yourselves known. If you go to WPLDN.uk, we've got listed on there the places that you can get involved. We're using Trello, GitHub and Slack as open ways of communicating. But right now, tonight, it would actually be good to get some names. So if you can come and speak to either me, myself, or
Would you want
Tammie,
to like a bit of paper?
and just come and let us know. Yes, yeah.
Because I was just thinking, like, if we've got if there's like a bit of paper by the food, writing,
By the beers.
yeah, that's an amazing idea. So there'll be a paper, so you've got to write your name before you have a beer. That's basically
Sorry. Tammie, you also want their email address. That's a little bit more important than their name right now.
You think of everything, you always do.
I mean, you can just have their name, but I don't know how you get hold of them.
That was going to be the fun I was going to have.
Research.
Yeah, that was going to be my user research.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just having your name, everyone. Email address.
And
So
email.
we've got, there are other people in this room that are involved in the project. I'm not going to call on anybody in particular, but if those people want to come now and just let themselves be known, and if you have anything else to add to what we're talking about.
Them to say the area and what we could get.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just don't want to be
Well, I'll do
pointing
it. Shall I do it
names
for
and
you?
fingers.
Shall I point for you?
I might have missed it, but right at the beginning of every single project, the first question I ask is why. I haven't heard of why. I might have missed it.
That's why we will be researching, because we think there's a need. We've got this kind of instinct, and that's great. We all have instincts about stuff. But, so there probably is a need, there is a need, but what type of need? Why? What format would it have? How would we do it? Why is there a need? Why is Meetup not working for us? Why is Eventbrite not? Why are these things not working for us? Why is there more of a need? That's why we need people involved in the research to actually answer that question. We haven't answered that question yet because we haven't started looking for the answers to that question.
So I did miss it because I was tweeting too many times.
Yeah, I mean, WPLDN.uk was built some time ago by myself just as a quick get something up because I realised trawling through the YouTube channel for WPLDN there's a huge amount of content there which just wasn't easily accessible. Yes, it's on YouTube and yes, you can go searching for it, but actually. So I thought, you know, I'll just bring all this together. But it was a project that never really had any kind of guideline for it. It was just me, quick theme, probably the 2015 theme. And bringing these videos together, this content together. I do believe that there can be a lot more had from this site. It's already come up a couple of times in discussion around meetup.com. It's not very good when it comes to communities discussing. You've got the discussion board, but I don't get notifications.
Someone, and I've had this as well, someone can comment on it unless, I'm not sure if it's like a second level comment or something, but I had it in Brighton and you had it, like someone will comment and then you'll go and look at it and go, ooh, someone commented like 2 months ago. This is an awesome welcome to the community by the fact that it's a first time person commenting and you were like tumbleweed for 2 months.
And then it goes the other extreme when you're commenting on an event. You put a comment there and everybody gets notification. So you end up spamming everybody. So there's no happy balance when it comes to an online
But it also does some
community.
things good, which it does, it's great for like, I'm going to it. This is when things can be. From an admin point of view, I don't know how to do that, I don't have to do all this stuff. So it does stuff, but it also fails with stuff. Should I? Yes,
Just
sorry.
a side comment regarding Meetup. Has anyone considered that maybe it's just that many people are using the Meetup app where you don't have a contact, you don't have connection with the forums, so you don't see what's going on, and the only way you can interact is via comments, which
You're absolutely right. I mean, I regularly use both desktop and app, and I miss notifications, or I don't even receive notifications for the desktop discussion area. And as Tammie said, that's a real negative when you've got a new member to the group wanting to be included.
We have no onboarding for someone in the community. It's like you have to sign up to an event, there's no welcome, there's no onboarding, there's no... It's about as friendly as like you have to turn up to like a group of strangers out there. So we can do something about that, have that kind of... Should we get everyone else? I feel like you're going to miss that.
I think that's the happy medium between Tammie and Dan right now. You're part of the project and you want to be known to be part of the project, stand up.
Stand in the middle with that.
So we've got Keith on board as well, and there are a number of other people. You can quite easily see who it is, but I don't really name people because they haven't.
Do you want us to say what you're doing, or do you want to do what you're doing?
Yeah, so I kind of volunteered to be involved in the theme side of things. So once we go through this design phase, I'll get stuck in on the front end and the theme build, but I'll need help for that as well. But we don't know when that's going to happen because, like we said, I think it's already kind of been said that what's going to slow this project down, we're almost going to slow it down deliberately because we want to use it at meetups. So, you know, when someone's done their user research or their prototyping or whatever it is, they can present that to the group and explain how that process happened, what worked well, what didn't work, and use it as a learning tool for all of us, not just the people that are directly involved. So I think we're kind of deliberately going to slow down the process to allow that to happen. So the theme build will probably be a little while off, but when it comes around, please get in touch.
So there's two discussions about what format it goes, because you already bring in the Hangout, you mentioned some good, like, because we have so many options of what we can do.
Yeah, there's like all the front-end tooling and frameworks and things, so yeah.
You're excited about that.
Yeah, lots of religious wars to be had.
So that there is genuinely something for everybody in this project. From right now, trying to answer the questions, trying to figure out what it is you guys want, through to the user testing.
You mentioned later on things like copy and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. Yes, yeah. There's a huge amount to be done, which we really want the community to be part of. So, Graham is standing.
Yes. Now, I bet you can't guess which area I'm asking you. I'll be volunteering. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I've no need to write. This is I'd love to be part of this and to support a meetup group that I've been attending for God knows how many years, since people have run it and whatever. And obviously around accessibility. Now, one of the things about accessibility, as anyone who's seen any of my presentations will know, is the time to think about accessibility is right at the start, before anything happens. And so as part of the planning process, and then part of the design process, we need to think about that too, what we're aiming at. And so I probably see my role as being someone, this is what I do on my day-to-day gig these days, is I help people to actually understand accessibility and help to give solutions. And so that's going to be my offer to the team, is basically you can use me as a sounding board, or I can give my ideas. Potentially in terms of your user research and your user testing, I might be able to get us access to people who have disabilities like visual disabilities or motor impairments or whatever like that, who can actually help us out when required. I'll investigate that. Normally that's a sort of service also you would pay for, but I might be able to source someone, some people for that. So, and then it's, you know, I can do some testing myself, but if you want to use a testing as well, then obviously that's another stage.
Can people learn about accessibility? Would you help some?
Well, that's kind of what I'd like to do, because that's, you know, I'd certainly like to, you know, because accessibility, I know I've said this before, is becoming more important, and it's starting to be taken more and more seriously all the time as people get older, right? Because it's not just about people with disabilities, it's about people like our parents and our grandparents as well, and it's us in 10, 20 years, you know, like I'm 60 next year, so like who knows, in 10 years' time I might need some help using the internet myself. So, you know, we're all in that position. So yeah, I see this as a way. I won't go away in a little corner and do it all myself. I want to bring it in there to help everyone who wants to learn about accessibility understand the day-to-day things, because it's easy to get on your back legs and talk about accessibility at a presentation, and yeah, people learn from that and everything like that. But actually doing it is much more a valuable experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you. Well, I think to sum it up in a nutshell, you've got an opportunity here to get involved in this project that actually we can all learn and grow from as a community. There's some fantastic skills to be had and to be developed amongst the team. So if you want to get involved, as we've given you a couple of options as how to contact us, so we'll stick a bit of paper out there as well. But thank you very much.